Couple new devices from Huawei. We have the MatePad 11.5S and the MatePad Pro Paper Matte Edition. This is the one that has that texture on the display, so it feels more like paper. We're basically getting two sizes here, the 11.5 and this one is 12.2 inches. Let's go ahead and take a look at the little one first. I mean, it's not really that little at 11.5. So this one has this green tone to it, kind of nice. Extremely thin, large speaker grills on both sides, and a Type-C port. Here we have our 13 megapixel camera, volume, a microphone array, power switch in the top right, and look at that paper matte display. I mean, you can tell how much less reflective it is before I even turn it on or begin to use it. For me, I find it to be a little bit less fatiguing, the matte finish, and I'm glad the matte finish is making a comeback. They also include a microfiber polishing cloth, 40-watt charger. There is the tablet. Let's check out the smart magnetic keyboard. So this one has like a leather-ish texture to it. 3 pogo style magnetic connector. You have this flat portion, you fold it out, clicks into this magnetic piece. Ooh. Because the keyboard is so low profile and the deck is so shallow, there's like no flex whatsoever here. This is solid. Now obviously certain keys need to shrink because the whole thing is so compact. Escape key up here, obviously your direction keys over here. We have some multimedia keys, got our volume there. When you fold it down, that's how slim everything gets. We can also just remove the keyboard portion completely. So if you want to save weight but still have a little bit of protection and your stand, you can do it like that. Here's your first look at the display. Again, the glare just disappears. It's there, you can see like there's the light, but compared to a glossy display, it's not even close. So if you use this thing in any kind of sunlit environment where you're competing with glare, and then same goes for like late night when you have artificial lights, maybe lamps and things like that that reflect. So let's move on to the MatePad Pro Paper Matte Edition. And this is a 12.2 inch tablet. Same color. Actually, this one looks to have a dual camera instead of a single. AI dual camera. This is a tiny landscape front-facing camera. You get a slightly different green tone and then a slightly different material in use. We've got large cutouts once again for our speakers, Type-C, volume. Power switch here is recessed. We're also gonna get a microfiber polishing cloth. And this one, it looks like comes with the keyboard case. And it's a totally different keyboard case. It feels almost like a laptop. So this one is softer. It has almost a laptop style hinge on the back. And it has a space for your pen to live. Place the stylus in the slot. Place the Huawei logo facing upward and the groove facing downward. Before we get there, let's just see how this one fits in. Oh, wow. What's cool about this one, it doesn't even, there's no pins. It kind of just grabs the right spot. And look, there's 2 little lines which indicate where the magnets are. So we can go line number 1 for angle number 1 and line number 2 for angle number 2. And the keyboard here obviously grows as well. The biggest difference here is that it moves up because we get a trackpad on this unit. This is a glass trackpad, I can tell right away. So even though the width is not all that different, the keys themselves are bigger here. Bigger enter, escape stays roughly the same. Buttons along the bottom get a little bit bigger. Because of this hinge design, it's a very stable kind of setup. I mean, there's very little wobble to that. Much bigger power brick, and that's interesting. Type-C or Type-A connector, kind of shared connector. This one's 100 watts. Type-C cable also in there. The pen is a key part of this experience. The M Pencil Pro, I called it the pen. Mo says it's already attached. Let's see. Ooh, that is a nice spot. See, what's smart about this spot, it's not gonna pop off the side. Instead here, look what happens. If we go into the fully closed format, where's the pen? Where is the pen? You don't see the pen. The pen is secure and in place and it's covered completely front and back. And if we go ahead and open the whole thing up, you still don't see the pen. The pen is still quietly housed until you need it, in which case you just pop it out like that. And so it's 2 different approaches. In this case, we have a 2-step system, a more modular situation with the keyboard case. Here, this is almost more like a laptop replacement with a spot to store the pen, even if you look at the hinge design on the back. But the key characteristic for both both of them is this display technology, which to me, it's a very pleasing kind of experience because we end up with this like glare-free kind of thing. And this is in an environment where we have strong overhead lights, and you can see, look, there you find the light on this one angle. You can see where the reflection, but it's nowhere near as straining or ugly as when you have a glossy display. And the same is true for fingerprints and smudges. I mean, that stuff happens. You're meant to touch these things, these tablets. Look at this now in full brightness, and it looks even better. We need brighter displays to make this finish more acceptable, and that's what we're getting here. It's kind of hard for you to get the full impression where you are, but I've looked at so many devices in this environment, and obviously when you've got a glossy display, you're used to having reflections to work with and to have to maneuver around, and we don't have any of that here. Very subtle reflection. We've also got a click on the top of the pen, and if you're wondering about the shape, it does have a flat edge, and I keep calling it a pen. It is a pencil, and the flat edge also kind of reminds you of the pencilness of it. The tips are interchangeable. They will grind down a little bit, but they're meant to give you that full texture experience. It looks like we actually have the pen tip. It almost looks like a ballpoint pen tip installed. The sketching tip is over here, and I'm just gonna install that. Let's skip the introductions. We know about brushes. Look at the comprehensiveness of the oil paint, watercolor, painting, sketching, line art. Are you kidding me? Let's see if I can do sketching. Here we go. This is the pencil factor. And I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I'm gonna need you to hear this real quick. What you're gonna notice is that is not that squeaky kind of experience that you might have on a glossy display. It has a little grit to it. I need to get some color going on this. Ooh, thick brush, cloth brush. Look at that, you can see it on top of the canvas. Oh, look at, see how when I changed my direction, if I go up and down, it kind of changes the way it grips the texture of that canvas. You know, when you're Bob Ross in it, I'm talking about? This is a satisfying experience. Now, art is part of it, like the creativity, the ability to sketch, draw, handwrite, that's part of it, but it's also a productivity device. I mean, you see you've got a laptop-like interface.
So this is an example of how you can use a voice recorder inside of the Notes app to...
And you can see that the note is identified by this marker.
Something new. So I'm just adding to my previous recording, except this time I'm going to draw something. 2 times 2 equals 4, and it should be synced up.
It's pretty cool.
With that.
That's cool. You're in a rush, you pop it open, black screen, locked device, double tap, straight into a new note. Handwriting to text. There we go. Now I've got a glass trackpad and I'm just navigating like this. There's a click, pretty satisfying. It's not haptic, it's an actual click. Let's get some typing in here. Not bad. Not bad for what it is. Let's get a little test of these speakers as well. Different. It might have a little more low end. This one's a little bit more in the mid range. Having them side by side, that's maxed out. That's dynamic. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, you guys, I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see this, but like, I choose the bigger one. It's when you put them side by side, I mean, either individually, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool, especially with the anti-glare going on and that beautiful finish there. But this one, it takes it to another level. So the way this really feels to me is like the bigger one, the 12, is more of a laptop replacement. If you're into productivity and you really want to use it instead of having a laptop at all, which it also happens to be a touchscreen display and a tablet when you want it to be, like that's where this one really feels like it would shine. And then the 11.5 model, especially with the modular design of the keyboard case where you can split it in 2 like this and still have your case and still have your kickstand. This one is tablet first and then laptop second. That's kind of how I would describe it. How all my art always looks. It's always the same.